Hello, this is Heather Hoffman, and today I am excited to share with you 3 cards that I made using the sentiment kit from May of 2018 called When I'm With You, I'm Home. I already kind of prepared some parts of the card. I stamped my houses from the kit onto a bunch of different pattern papers to layer together, just single colors, and then fussy cut them out with my scissors. I've added some pattern paper for the background, cut to the size of an A2 card, and done some machine stitching around the outside. And then I already have all of my sentiments heat embossed on strips of black cardstock, just heat embossed in white. So I'm going to show you 3 different ways to make dimensional banners for your sentiments on these cards. The first one is really straightforward. I'm just using some foam tape, and the strip is just as wide as the card front. And I'm adhering it on just so it's a thin raised strip. In a little bit here, I'm going to, after the video, I'll adhere the houses on with foam adhesive as well. Now the second one is kind of a simple trick without a die cut or anything, just to make kind of a dimensional banner. Like, I don't know if you've seen the dies that'll cut and do that. So first trim, I've got the sentiment heat embossed on a plain strip of black, and then I've got another strip the same size, and I'm cutting it slightly smaller than the width of my card front, and then using my scissors just to trim a banner edge at the sides. Basically just cut in a little bit and then trim in at an angle from each corner, and that'll make the banner edge. And then adhere the sentiment part over the top, and you can see how it gives a banner but a dimensional look to it because that front part's kind of raised up. So it's just a fun way to add a little interest and a little detail, and as you can see, it only takes just a few seconds. It's really, really quick and just kind of a fun touch, and raises the level of it up a little. Now for the last option, this one is probably the most complicated. It's not that hard. You might have to play with it a little. You'll notice as I did the video here, I pulled out my scoreboard, and you can use a bone tool. I like a scoring stylus, just because I feel like I can get more detailed folds. Whatever you're used to and whatever works for you is just fine. You can even just make the folds on your own without a scoreboard. But on the first one that I did, I actually messed up my measurements. I'd done a sample one, and then I forgot which marks I'd done. So when I finish this one, I'll have to redo it again. But what you're going to do with this, now you can, once you finish this dimensional banner that's going to fold, you can kind of see what I do here, even though I have to redo it to get it the right width to match my sentiment. Notice how you fold it in, and it gives it a total 3D banner effect. But I miscalculated, and it's a little narrower than the length of my sentiment. But when you do this, if you plan it to the width of your sentiment, you can also stamp and heat emboss your sentiment right on the banner that you've scored and trimmed down, or you could score and trim it down afterwards as well. For this one, just kind of a neat trick to save a little time and not have to line it up as perfectly and get your measurements, or make sure you stamp it evenly in the middle. I've got it on a separate piece, and I'm just adhering it together, and you really can't tell that it was 2 separate pieces when you do it. So it's just kind of a quick trick to get the look without as much effort on it. So you're going to place 2 score marks close together, one close to the edge and one a little bit in, and that's how you get your banner shape. And now it's the perfect width for that. And I'm just going to adhere those together, as I mentioned. And again, here I'm showing you just that you could heat emboss your sentiment right on that banner if you wanted. But again, for this, I'm just going to adhere them together to save some time. And then fold in those edges again for the 3D effect. And then if you add foam adhesive just to the inside of the back, not too close to the edges, then when you adhere it down, it keeps that banner look kind of hanging free and raises it up enough to give the 3D effect. I love layering pattern paper together like I did on these cards too. Just a quick way. You can color these houses, and they look beautiful colored as well. But doing them out of the pattern paper makes them really quick and simple. Like you can see on this video, I was quickly able to put 3 cards together, and the lines are nice and simple and easy to cut out. Here's a closer look at each of those ways: the basic banner, the slightly stepped up one, and the final one with a little more detail. Thanks so much for coming by. I hope you have a wonderful day.